Hello, dear students. Today we are going to start the new subject application of power tonics to power system. Since the power system and power tonics are the core subject related to electrical engineering, so we have to study the applications of power tonics to power system. Already in our UG, we have studied power system, that is power system 1 and power system 2, as well as power tonics. So we have to study at MTech level its application, that is application of power electronics to power system. This subject consists of 6 units. The first unit is review of semiconductor devices, that is it is a basic part of power electronics. Then steady state and dynamic problems in AC system, which is related to power system. And third point is power flow, how the AC power is transferred from receiving side to sending side. Second unit is fax devices, their roles, types of fax controller, principle of series and shunt compensation. This third unit is description of static war compensator, thyristor control series compensator, that is TSCS, static phase shifter SPS, static condenser, that is STATCON, static synchronous series compensator SSSC, and unified power flow controller UPFC. Fourth unit is modeling and analysis of fax controller, control strategies to improve system stability, power quality problems in distribution systems. Unit 5 is harmonics. In this subject, we are first going to study the power electronics application to power system, and after that, what are the challenges that power electronics gives to the power system. That is, when we use large number of electronics devices, we have switching losses, as well as the power electronics devices adds harmonics to the system. So our next part will be how we can eliminate the harmonics present in the system. That part is nothing but the harmonic content, how we can reduce the harmonics. So unit number 5 is related to harmonics, harmonic creating loads, modeling, series and parallel resonance, harmonic power flow, mitigation of harmonics, filters and passive filters. And last unit is active filters, shunt, series and hybrid filters, voltage sag, voltage swell, voltage flickering, and mitigation of power quality problems using power electronic condensers, conditioners and IEEE standards. Now we'll start with the first point, that is review of semiconductor devices. So this part is already covered in your UG. So we'll just discuss the or we'll have rough brief introduction about the semiconductor devices. So semiconductors, since the first development of thyristors by General Electric in 1957, the targets of Poltronics are low switching losses for high switching rates and minimal conduction losses. That means already the Poltronics applications have wide range, and this wide range has become possible due to invention of one semiconductor devices, that is thyristor, which was invented by General Electric in 1957. This one devices has given large number of applications in power system, as well as nowadays there is a very much renewed topic, that is nothing but electric vehicles. So it finds this thyristors finds applications in power system also, as well as nowadays in electric vehicles also. The innovations in facts area is mainly driven by this development. So due to this invention of thyristors, it is possible to use these thyristors in fax devices, and we already know that these fax devices are used for mitigating the harmonics present in the system. That means whatever the losses which are present by Poltronics devices can itself be removed by using fact devices which are nothing but that is Poltronics devices or semiconductor devices. Today, there are thyristors and transistors technologies available. So the figure shows the ranges of power and voltage for the application of specific semiconductors. So we have low voltage IGBTs, high voltage IGBTs, IGCT, that is insulated gate commutated transistors, IGBTs and thyristors. So if we look this table, you'll find that the thyristors has high voltage application, that is for power of 1000 MVA and a voltage level of above 300 kilovolt. So after studying the applications or introduction related to semiconductor devices, we study its merits and demerits of thyristors. A thyristor is a device which can be triggered with a pulse at gate and remains in on stage until the next current zero crossing. Therefore, only one switching per half cycle is possible, which limits its controllability. If we consider a single phase fully controlled converter, in this we get four thyristors, and at a time we will on only one thyristors. That means we'll have control of only one thyristors at a time. So it reduces the controllability over the entire converter. The thyristors have highest current and blocking voltage. This means that fewer semiconductors are needed to be used for particular application. Since it has high voltage capability and high current carrying capability, so we can use only single stacked or multi-stacked thyristors for particular applications. Thyristors are used as switches for capacitors or inductance, in converter for reactive power compensator, or as protection switches for less robust power converters. The thyristors are still the devices for applications with highest voltage and power level. They are part of mostly used fax devices up to biggest HVDC transmissions with a voltage level above 500 kV and power above 3000 MVA. So, after studying the merits and demerits of thyristors, we'll see some modern semiconductor devices. So, in order to increase the controllability, GTO thyristors have been developed, which can be switched off with a voltage peak at the gate. These devices are nowadays replaced by insulated gate commutated thyristors, so IGCT, which combines the advantage of the thyristors, the low on-state losses with low switching losses. These semiconductors are used in smaller fax devices and drive applications. The insulated gate bipolar transistors is getting more and more importance in fax areas. An IGBT can be switched on with positive voltage and switched off with zero voltage. This allows a very simple gate drive unit to control the IGBT. The voltage and power level of the application is on the way to grow up to 300 kV to 1000 MVA for HVDC with voltage source converter. So IGBT capability covers nowadays the whole range of power system application. So earlier in 1957, the General Electric developed the thyristors, but it has some demerits. So these demerits are covered or overcome in modern semiconductor devices, which are nothing but GTO thyristors or IGCTs or IGBTs. And nowadays IGBTs finds more applications in power system and in fact devices. So issues with the semiconductor devices. An important issue for semiconductor is the packaging to ensure reliable connection to the gate drive unit. This circuit ensures besides the control of semiconductor as well as its supervision and protection. So after designing the semiconductor devices, the question arises how we can keep this semiconductor without damaging it. That means how we can pack the semiconductor devices. Since if you consider an example, all the semiconductor devices which we use are imported from China. So how can we import these semiconductor devices without damaging is the best solution is its packaging. So the issues with semiconductor devices its packaging since the characteristics of semiconductor devices change with its temperature. So while handling the semiconductor devices, we should take care of such issues. So this can be overcome with suitable and proper packaging. A development in the thyristors are tries to trigger the thyristors with light signal through an optical fiber. This allows the decoupling of semiconductor and gate drive unit. The advantage is that electronic circuit can be taken out of the high electromagnetic field close to the thyristors. The disadvantage is that the protection of thyristors has to be implemented in thyristor itself, which leads to an extremely complex component. A supervision of thyristors by gate drive unit is as well impossible in this case, which leads to disadvantages for entire converter. A second issue for packaging is the stacking of semiconductor devices. A number of devices needs to be stacked to achieve the required voltage level for the power system application. A mechanically stable packaging needs to ensure an equal current distribution in the semiconductor. Now this point is very much important since we are dealing with power electronics applications to power system and we know that a power system has very high primary and secondary voltages. So in order to control the power of these high voltages and high current, a single semiconductor device cannot handle such high voltage and current or blocking voltage. So in order to do so, we need to have stackings or multiple stackings of these semiconductor devices. And when we stack these semiconductors one upon the another, the size becomes big or larger and the problem arises of packaging of these high stacking semiconductor devices. So this point is discussed in the fourth point. That is a second issue for packaging is stacking of semiconductor devices. A number of devices need to be stacked to achieve the required voltage level for the power system applications. A mechanically stable packaging needs to ensure an equal current distribution in semiconductors. So figure shows the semiconductor stacks. So there are three figures. The medium voltage, that is figure number A, shows medium voltage IGCT, that is insulated gate commutated thyristors, which is three level topology, 9 MVA power stack. Figure B shows SVC thyristor valve and figure C shows high voltage IGBT stack for STATCOM. So if you look at the size of these semiconductors, so we can easily understand how difficult is the packaging of such semiconductor devices and how we can handle the semiconductor devices. So next figure shows IGBT module of 1 kiloampere RMS 2.5 kilovolt with 4 sub modules for voltage source converter, that is plus minus 150 kilovolt DC and 300 MVA. So each sub modules contains 9 pins of which 6 are IGBT chips, and 3 are diode chips. Between 2 and 6 sub-modules can be integrated in one frame. The pins are designed to press the chip with a spring on an aluminum plate. If the entire module is stacked, the sub-modules with the pins are pressed into the frame until the frames are laying tight on each other. With this, a well-defined pressure is equally distributed throughout all chips. So the main reason for studying this is we have to design a voltage source converter, and in order to design the voltage source converter we have these four sub modules, and these four sub modules are stacked one upon each other so that the pressure can be maintained. So the first problem or issue is how we can stack these semiconductor devices, and the second problem is how we can pack them. So in these issues of semiconductor devices, there are two issues occurring. First one is stacking and second one is packaging. So this is the problems or issues related to semiconductor devices. Due to enormous number of chips in power system converter, a single chip failure shall not lead to disturbance of entire FATS devices. In the case short circuit of a chip, it is melting together with aluminum plate, providing a long-term stable short circuit of the module. The converter is designed in a way that more modules are stacked than necessary so that between maintenance interval a defined number can fail. That means, so if you stack a number of semiconductor modules on one another, due to the pressure of that module, if the temperature rises due to short circuit, there might be possibility of melting of the aluminum plate. If the melting of aluminum plate occurs, that means there will be failure of voltage source converter. So in order to avoid these issues, we should have extra number of stackings in the semiconductor device so that the fixed amount of failure occurs and which can be replaced easily. So these are the issues related to semiconductor devices. All this development in power semiconductor and its packaging area lead to reliable system setups today. So this point is very much important. So up till now we have covered the introduction related to semiconductors, that is brief introduction. Second is merits and demerits of semiconductors, new semiconductor devices and issues related to semiconductors. Now we'll find the applications of these semiconductors in the power electronics, that is rectifiers, or we can say that converters which converts AC to DC, and we are dealing with high voltage and current, so that rectifiers or converters can be named as power converters. So the main application of thyristors is designing in power converters. We have variety of configuration: single phase, three phase, half controlled, full controlled, and so on, and depending upon the load connected at the secondary side, that is capacitance control or inductance control. So thyristors can be used mostly as a simple switch. The thyristor switch capacitance or inductance are possible applications. The thyristor converter shown is most simple configuration. Now if we want to see the working of this power converter, which is half control converter, there are four thyristors connected in a branch, that is we have two arms. So in these two arms we have two thyristors each, so therefore total thyristors will be 4. That means for single phase we'll have 4 thyristors, and at a time one thyristor will get on by applying the or giving the firing angles to the gate, that is insulated gate. So after applying the firing angles, the thyristors will go in the on stage, and after that we'll get the output voltage at the secondary side. Okay, so in this half bridge, the thyristors can be triggered once in a half cycle. The next zero crossing will block the thyristors. In an ideal case, where the feeding inductance on DC side is infinite, the output AC current is rectangular, which means it has a high harmonic content. But due to small number of switchings, the switching losses are low. The operational diagram is a half cycle, which means the active power flow can be controlled, but reactive power is fixed with certain ratio. So the main part in this half cycle thyristor is we can only control the active power and the reactive power remains constant. To overcome these disadvantages, FACTS applications are used where the controllability of active power as well as reactive power is the main target. On and off switchable devices must be used. So in case of thyristors, that is half cycle thyristor or half bridge thyristors, we can only control the active power, but the reactive power will be present in the power system. But when the reactive power is present in the power system, the secondary voltage profiles or the secondary side voltage profiles across the load get reduces or deducted. So in order to control the reactive power, we can use these thyristors for FACTS application. And we know that the FACTS applications are the solutions which controls the reactive power. So the thyristors can be used in FACTS devices in order to control active power as well as reactive power. So figure 5 shows two level voltage source converter with pulse width modulation. So there are two circuit diagrams, one at left side and one at right side. The left side is half bridge, which is similar to that of thyristor based, and it is IGBT based half bridge converter, and the right side circuit is twin circuit. So we'll study these two circuits one by one. The figure 5 shows the two circuit, that is left is half bridge with IGBT, the same setup which is valid for GTO thyristors or IGCT, that is insulated gate commutated thyristors. A suitable switching pattern must be defined for switch on and off capability. So switching on and off is very much important in case of thyristors. So depending upon switching on and off, we can control the power from sending side and receiving side. And this switching on and off is mainly useful for reducing the switching losses of semiconductor devices. The simplest solution is combination of triangular voltage with reference voltage as control values. The changing sign of difference of both signal trigger the IGBTs alternately. The output voltage is jumping between both maximums. With an increasing number of switchings, the harmonic contents is decreasing. So this point discusses that while switching on and off of the thyristors, we can control the active power and reactive power in case of FACTS devices or IGBTs. So if we increase the number of switchings, the harmonic content decreases. So the main aim was to reduce the harmonic content, and which can be reduced by increasing the number of switchings. So the question arises how we can do the switching of these thyristors or IGBTs. The one of the important solution is using pulse width modulation. In pulse width modulation, we use two signals. One is reference signal, which can be triangular signal, and second one is carrier signal, which can be sine wave. So these two signals are compared, that is triangular wave and sine wave, and we have two limits when carrier signal is greater than triangular signal, that is sine wave is greater than triangular wave, and second one is when triangular wave is greater than sine wave. Depending upon these limits, we can give the on and off signals to the thyristors. On the right hand side, a twin converters uses two IGBT bridges. The output voltage is the voltage between the midpoints. Three stages plus, minus, and zero are now possible and reducing the harmonic further. This pattern can be achieved as well with three-level converters where 4 IGBTs and 6 diodes are used in simple bridges. So the twin circuit is nothing but it is IGBT circuits, but we have two IGBT bridges in it. There is possibility we can have three-level converters where we have to use 4 IGBTs and 6 diodes. So the main aim of this twin circuit or twin converter is to increase the number of switchings, and if we increase the number of switchings, we can reduce the harmonic contents present in the circuit, which is the ultimate aim of our application, that is power electronics to power system. While increasing the number of switching reduces the harmonics, the switching losses are increasing. For practical applications, a compromise between harmonics, which means output filtering, and losses must be found. What happens if we increase the number of switchings? The harmonic contents get reduces. But the problem arises that when we use large number of semiconductor devices, there increases the switching losses. That means the efficiency of that converter get reduces. So there we have to compromise whether we have to reduce the harmonic contents or we have to increase the switching losses. So it is up to us, that is the what are the main aim of our applications. That is, in case of power system, the harmonics are very much concern or major concern. So we can reduce the harmonics by increasing the number of switches, but we have to also tackle or compensate the switching losses which are present in the semiconductor devices. For HVDC converters, the losses of one converter stations are around 1% for thyristor converters and little about 2% for IGBT voltage source converters. So if we use thyristors, we have 1% of losses, and when we use IGBTs, we have 2% of losses. But the main problems of thyristors is its controllability, whereas we have full control over the IGBTs. So we have to decide whether to use thyristors or IGBTs. And since IGBTs have high voltage and current carrying capability, IGBT finds the applications in power system. So nowadays in fax devices, we use IGBTs despite us having high switching losses. More complex converters are proposed in the literature, but the number of semiconductor elements increases the cost more than loss or harmonic reduction would justify. So there are number of literatures available where they have discussed that there are many semiconductor devices which have high switchings, that is the number of switching is larger, so the larger switching reduces the harmonic content, but there is high switching losses present in this semiconductor. So we have to decide whether we have to reduce the harmonic or we have to increase the switching losses. So according to application, the main point is we have to reduce the harmonics, we have to keep aside the switching losses. We can work afterwards on the switching losses.